Hey everybody, it's Corey from Gemini Guitar, and in today's feature we're going to be beginning a series focusing on some of my favourite chords of darkness. These will be primarily in the gothic, darkwave and atmospheric metal genre. Each feature will focus on just a singular voicing and some techniques we can use to bring out the flavour and characteristics of that voicing. So without further ado, let us begin and take a look at today's example. Okay, just to begin with, just like to mention there is a transcription of this feature over at the website geminiguitar.com.au. And also, if you want to support my work here on the channel, you can do so by purchasing lessons at the download store. So if you're able to do that, that would be greatly appreciated. This voicing is basically an E power chord, if you analyze the notes, with the addition of a -6 from the E minor scale, or root. So what does all that mean? Well, let's have a look at the notes and find out. So we'll do the chord first, and I'll explain all those intervals as we go. Firstly, we've got the low E string, so that's easy. We don't have to fret anything for that. We're then going to place the middle at fret 7 on the A string. That is an E note once more in the higher octave, so that's still the root note. Then we've got the 5th, which is the B note. That's where my 4th finger is, and it's at fret 9 on the D string. So those three notes there make up an E power chord. Now before we get to the -6 interval, let's look at the two high open strings. That's the open B, that's string 2, and open string 1. Now those notes are E and B, which are actually the same as these two, where my middle and 4th finger are, also the low E root. They're just in a different octave. Now I did mention the -6 interval. What that means is that from the root E, if we played up in the E minor scale, we would not return, that's what I was just about to say, we would just simply get the C note at fret 10 on the D string, like this. E minor scale, we have E, F sharp, G, and we have on the next string A, B, and C. And that C note is our -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so with that out of the way, what you want to do is just make sure that you're fretting everything correctly. So you'll notice by my left hand here, notice the fingers are in pretty much a nice curved shape. So you definitely don't want your fingers flat or straight. You want them curved. This can be a bit of a tough stretch, which is why I recommend using the middle finger for the root note, and then the 4th finger, then the 1st finger like I'm doing. Now what you want to do, this is protocol in general for any beginner or guitarist wanting to improve their chord fretting technique. You want to just play each string individually, just to make sure the chord is ringing out properly, like this. So there shouldn't be any strings that are muted. If there are, you'll need to adjust your fretting technique so that they are not muted. Now there's a couple of ways we can approach this. I'm going to show you two. Now the first way would be to arpeggiate it. Okay, so as for the strings we're going to hit, we're going to mix it up a bit. Okay, so the first thing to do is play from the low E string to the A to the D and then the G string, like this. And then things are going to get a bit more interesting. So we're going to go from the D string to the B string, then the G string to the E string. And there is a pattern at work there. That will sound like this from the beginning of the bar. Then to finish with, what we're going to do is we're going to mix it up a little bit more, and we're going to play low E to the A string, then skip to the G string and back to the D string, and then play the B string and the G string. Okay, so let's listen to that twice at a slower tempo, and then you can check out what my right hand's doing. Now the second approach involves holding the pick very lightly between the index and thumb, as always, but what I like to do here is I let more of the point show. I'll just see if I can show you that. So it looks like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go right where the bridge is, meets the saddle. In the SG's case, it's just here. And you get right there, just where the strings join the saddle. So we're going to start on the high E string, and we're just going to rake back like this. Just do that again. And you can also go in the other direction, downward, which is a little bit easier. So the reason I'm doing it at this point is because it produces a much more interesting sound. It's got a more of a trebly sort of tone to it, so it really does cut through. Okay, so that wraps things up for today's lesson. Hope you've enjoyed it. Be sure to check out the website, geminiguitar.com.au, where you will find the transcription and many more lessons with transcriptions too. Hope to see you at the next lesson. Until then, bye for now.